Hey everyone, happy Halloween. Amanda Phillips here posting my NCTM article share for Module 11/16. This week I read 5 Indicators of Decimal Understanding, which was published in October of 2015. And I picked this article based on my focus grade levels, which are around 4, 5, and 6, as well as my focus topic of fractions, decimals, and percent. So much of what students know of fractions and percent comes from their foundational understanding of decimals. So I thought this would be a great article to kind of segue and support all 3 of those focus areas. Also, currently my 5th grade advanced math class is reviewing decimal place value and moving into operations with decimals, which we just started last week on addition and subtraction, which is focused on in this article, and we're moving into multiplication and division. So I thought this would be quite fitting with one of my current classes. Furthermore, it also focuses on the Common Core standards, which my independent school follows as well. So the article begins with such an accurate interview with a 4th grade student where she's reading a decimal as 0.4 and claiming that it is less than 38 hundredths because, in her words, 4 is smaller than 38. And this example really set the stage on how we as math teachers can target our instruction of decimals based on the verbal and physical indicators that children are showing us. It was so accurate and just kind of resonated with me right away as something that I've heard in my experience as 4th and 5th grade teachers. So, as the article begins, the team identifies indicators that are common among students who demonstrated understanding of decimal ideas. So down here are the key indicators, using precise math language, using models to represent, being able to decompose and compose, using mental images, understanding of the relative size of decimals to support their estimation, and also to be able to interpret addition and subtraction operations and then build off of that into the algorithm or other conceptual understandings. Furthermore, then they gave examples on how we can strengthen our students' understanding of adding and subtracting by using the good old reliable 10 by 10 grid. So scrolling back up, we see a lot of examples of how they use the 10 by 10 grid just to represent decimals and also fractions, how they compose and decompose them as well. So one of my biggest takeaways from this article was the idea of using different colors. So oranges to represent the tens and yellow to represent the ones. This gives their reasoning a tie to the mental images of the 10 by 10 grid and the colors also used to represent those decimals. The authors state that, in contrast, other successful students transitioned from the model used in class to ordering strategies that involve decomposing decimals into their place value components with less dependence on their mental images, which connects to the 3rd indicator. So when a student compared 4 tenths and 38 hundredths, they decomposed the numbers without referring to the model and were then able to order them based on their understanding of place value. So it really illustrates how students can move from the grid away from that, but still able to hold on to that mental image. The article also goes into how to address struggles with language and representation through mental images. And the images really help students think flexibly about decimals, which directly applies to one of my professional goals as a math teacher this year, which is flexible thinking. It's inspiring me to continue on the pursuit of conceptual understanding, process over product, and valuing the thoughts and connections that students make across big ideas in math. Moving forward, I'm excited to try and use different colors when showing decimals and decomposing them, and I think this would also help my students as we progress to adding and subtracting with whole numbers and decimals. Excited to give this a try and hope you are too. Have a good one.